Hey guys, today we're going to make my wedding bites or amuse bouche, because last week Beau and I got married in Italy, and to share a touch of the experience I thought it would be nice to share some recipes. We're going to make an artichoke and pistachio tartelette and an onion cone with lovage and a white onion cream. So, let's begin.
First, the artichoke tartelette. Start by trimming the stems. Then transfer them into a big pot and submerge them completely with water.
Now, to prevent the artichokes from turning brown, I squeeze in 2 lemons and add the lemon peel as well. This will give a wonderful flavor. And then we need to season the water, and I do that with 10 grams of salt for every liter of water. So this is 5 liters of water, so I add 50 grams of salt.
Now bring the pot to a boil on a medium-high heat and then let it boil for 5 minutes. After that, turn off the heat and let the water cool down out of the fridge. Once that's done, take them out of the water.
Now we can clean the artichokes. It's very simple. Just remove the leaves. These leaves still have so much flavor. And if you do like this, and you take a leaf out, you can eat this. Because here is still a lot of flesh, and that's so delicious. If you dip this in a bit of aioli or something like that, it's such a beautiful flavor. I'm not using them this time, but I always keep these leaves and I freeze them. And then I juice them, because the liquid that comes from the juice, it's delicious. In the next video I will show you what to do with it, but like I said in this video, I'm not using them. So you can eat them like this, or you can also freeze them and wait for the next video.
Now remove the leaves from all the artichokes. Then take a spoon and use it to scoop out the inside. After that, use a small knife to trim the sides. These trimmings you can also keep for later with the leaves. Now take half of the artichokes and cut them in thin slices. Then cut these slices in cubes, also known as brunoise. Also finely slice some chives and use it to season the artichoke brunoise together with a drizzle of olive oil, some lemon zest and when necessary some salt. Keep it in your fridge for later. The remaining artichokes you can gently slice in thin slices on a mandolin. Be careful, because it's very sharp. Then deep fry them at 160 degrees Celsius till crispy and golden. Now remove them from the oil and directly season them with salt.
Now for the buckwheat tartelette. First, pour 100 grams of flour on your worktop and use the bowl to make a well in the middle.
Then fill the well with 15 grams of egg yolk, 60 grams of buckwheat flour, 60 grams of cold water, 20 grams of olive oil, 10 grams of sugar and 3 grams of salt. Now mix it to bring everything together and then knead it into a beautiful dough. Then wrap it in foil and let it rest in your fridge for at least 1 hour. After that, dust some flour in your worktop and roll out the dough into a thin sheet. Now cut it with a round cutter and then remove the excess dough. Once that's done, transfer the dough on some tartelette molds and make sure that you place them in the center. Then place another layer of tartelette molds on top and then another layer of dough. The final layer needs to be tartelette molds. Now press them well together and then place them upside down on a tray. Then bake them at 160 degrees Celsius for around 30 minutes till golden brown. Once golden, let them first cool down a bit and then when still lukewarm, remove the tartelettes from the mold. Keep them dry and covered for later. Now for the pistachio butter. Spread 200 grams of pistachio on a tray and toast them at 160 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Then transfer them into a blender and also add 3 grams of salt. Blend this till smooth.
Now while you're blending the pistachio nuts, it may seem that you're going nowhere and that the nuts are doing nothing but turn into a fine powder. And you don't want that, because we want something liquid and not a solid like it's now. Because right now it's still a crumble or a powder, and we want to end up with a beautiful pistachio butter. And to fix this, there's only one thing you can do, and that's very simple. Just continue blending, because all that blending will generate a lot of friction and therefore heat. And the heat will ensure that the pistachio nuts release their oils, and then you end up with a beautiful pistachio butter.
If really nothing is happening, you can always add a tablespoon of pistachio oil to jumpstart the process. The only disadvantage is that the nut butter will be thinner than necessary. Now keep it out of the fridge for later. Then for the cones. First, place a couple sheets of brick dough on top of each other and use a bowl to cut them into the desired size. Now cut them in half. Then lay the sheets with the flat side to the left next to each other. Now melt some butter on a low heat and add a thin layer with a brush. Make sure everything is well covered. Then lay cone shapers on top and roll the dough on the shapers. Make sure it's super tight. After that, lay them next to each other on a tray and bake them at 160 degrees Celsius for around 25 minutes till golden brown. Now let them cool down for 5 minutes and then gently remove the cones from the shapers. Now for the onion cream. First cut 5 white onions in half and clean them. Now chop them. Then add a drizzle of oil to a cold pan and glaze the onions together with 5 grams of salt on a low heat. This is going to take a couple of hours. Almost all the moisture needs to be vaporized without coloring the onions for a super intense flavor. Then add 80 grams of cream with 10 grams of white wine vinegar and bring this to a boil for 1 minute. Now transfer it into a blender and blend it till smooth.
Now we're going to add a knife tip of a binder. I use scent and gum, but you can also use unique binder or any binder, works great. And that's to bind the liquids to the solids in the cream. Because otherwise, when you pipe a little dot on the plate, you notice a little ring of liquid forming at the bottom, and you don't want that. Obviously you don't need to do this because the cream, it's still delicious, the texture is still delicious, but this is just to bring it to the next level. Then blend it for another minute, transfer it into a piping bottle and keep it in your fridge for later.
Then for the lovage. I have a lot of lovage in the garden right now, and these recipes are a great way to use it and keep it for a long time. First the powder. Spread some lovage leaves on a tray and dry them at 50 degrees Celsius for a couple of hours. You can also do this in your microwave for 30 seconds at a time on the lowest watt. This is way faster, but the chance of leaves turning brown is also bigger. Then transfer the leaves into a blender and blend it into a fine powder. Keep it dry and covered for later. After that, deep fry some leaves at 160 degrees Celsius till they start bubbling. This means that the moisture has vaporized and that they are crispy. Then transfer them on the kitchen paper and directly season them with salt. Now for the puree or coulis. First blanch 50 grams of lovage stems and leaves in salted water for 30 seconds. Now cool it down in ice water and then let it sit for 2 minutes. Then take them out of the water and squeeze out any liquid. Transfer the lovage in a cup and also add 60 grams of vegetable broth and 10 grams of ponzu. Now blend this till smooth. Once smooth, like before, add a knife tip of scent and gum to prevent the puree from splitting. And cool it down as fast as possible to prevent it from turning brown. I always keep some frozen in an ice cube tray for whenever I need small quantities. Now we can finish the amuse. First, pipe a layer of pistachio butter in the tartelette and cover it completely with the artichoke salad. Now cover it with the crispy artichoke and decorate it with fennel flowers. Then pipe some onion cream in the cones and pipe some lovage puree on top. In total, you'll need 3 layers of onion cream and 2 of lovage puree. Just make sure you end up with a big dot of onion cream. Then dust some lovage powder on the cream and decorate it with the deep fried lovage leaves. These bites were great to prep, and all the components can be stored dry or in your freezer. This made it perfect for me to prep at home and bring it frozen to Italy.
Okay guys, that's it for today. The 2 bites look great. I already had them multiple times at the wedding, but it was great making them again and showing and sharing with you how I made it and how you can make it at home as well. I love the artichoke with the pistachio. That's definitely, well, I think it's my favorite one, and I think my wife's favorite one is the onion one because she just loves onion. Yeah, let's just dig in. Yeah, super delicious, super flavorful as well. The lovage really brings balance to that beautiful onion flavor, and I love the texture because these have been standing here for like 20 minutes, but still texture is spot on. And then my favorite one, the pistachio with the artichoke tartelette. That's so good. The nuttiness of the pistachio in combination with that delicious artichoke. That's a beautiful combination. So guys, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much for your amazing, sweet and wonderful messages. We're really thankful for all your support. I hope to see you in the next video, so don't forget to subscribe to support my channel and also to see amazing other recipes. Like and share the video and let me know in the comments on what you want to see next. And as always, bon appetit!